Good morning, collective. How are you? Welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I am Nicole. I will say to you guys, this message is going to be for the collective, for all people. It's been a minute, so let's catch up here real quick. It's been about 2 weeks, I think, since I've actually got to post anything on YouTube. I was really busy with personal readings. You guys are amazing. So thank you so very much for all of your love and support, and then entrusting me with your journey. So I got caught up on personals, I do believe. Again, and I say this all the time, if somehow I've missed an email or something from you, do not hesitate to shoot me another one if it's been a day or two or something like that. Sometimes it might take me a day or so to get back to you, but, you know, just... there's one of me, lots of you. So do not hesitate to go, hey, did you get this from me? So with that, I took a little hiatus for a couple of days, which was supposed to just be like a 4-day period. Then I got back home from my travels and had some other things going on. And I do feel like this, I will say this to you guys, there's been some stuff I've had going on for the last couple of years on and off. And we talked about at some point, I know through some of the readings, about how information is going to be exchanged, exposure to things, and it does have to do with the planetary alignments. We're going to start to really bring some things to the surface. We're going to be able to see things that we weren't aware of before. And I've seen that in some of the personal reads as well that I've done with you guys. I'm no different. And I feel that I want to reiterate to you, even sitting, as I say, on this side of the table, right? I'm still growing. I'm still learning. I'm still going through those things myself. I've said it before. I'm like a conduit for the fact that I have these experiences, and then so many of you then later come to me, and then we are able to genuinely have this empathetic exchange, because, you know, there's no way to learn better than personal experience, which I'm going to get into that this morning. So, well, before I go off in 1,000 different directions here and confuse everybody, so what I've been dealing with, what I would ask for is just positive prayers and thoughts, nothing horrible, but challenging. All right. And I do think that here before long, as some other things are taken care of, I'm going to be able to share that experience with a lot of you on a more in-depth level publicly in due time. So, trust me, you'll know when that time comes. So with that, a lot of messages, I want to say too, side note. So Friday, I think it was, I had a Miley Cyrus moment and decided to buy myself flowers. So I want to say I wanted to get to these readings yesterday, and I didn't get to because I had the vase of the purple flowers. Sidebar, Spirit says all of this stuff that's coming through me, the reason I'm talking about these experiences is you're going to find, a lot of you are going to find different elements to this as to be reflective to you. So bear with me, listen to everything, take what is for you, leave the rest behind, as always. But I bought myself these purple flowers. Purple, my fingernails, right? It has been a big color for me, and that is of the divine, right? That is our crown chakra is purple, gold, or white, however you choose to see it. And so big things with purple for me. But anyhow, so I bought these flowers and I set them on the table where I keep my cards and all of this, where I sit and do these with you guys. And I come home, I left the house for a little, I come home and the vase had been knocked over because of the cat. So he had drenched 6 decks at least of my tarot cards. So I had everything sprawled out throughout my place here, letting them dry. So it kind of put things on pause mode yesterday for me. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I can't function like this. So there's one more delay, right? But I'm glad that the reason I'm saying this is there's always a reason why. Even the silliest things hold us up because it wasn't ready yet. Something wasn't ready yet. So this morning I was out and about and I was going down a road. So where I live, peacocks are not a thing. There are a few places around here, a few people that might own them, buy them, but they're not, this is not their spot. I'm driving, I'm on the road for just a few moments, going down a back road, and I dead stop in the middle of the road. There's a peacock right in front of me. And I was kind of like floored. I was like, oh my gosh, that was the last thing I was expecting to see. And then my brain went to, is that really what I think it is? Like here, that's a thing? So then I looked up the meaning of a peacock, and it talked about new beginnings, transformation, spiritual awakening, protection, fertility. Like there's so much behind the beauty, you know, it's a reminder to be humble, right? It's a reminder to live in grace, that, you know, embrace the beauty of you, right? And you could be feeling good, looking good, you know, all of those kind of things. So it was just a beautiful omen. But then the funny thing to that was, as I tried to drive around it, it would go back into the center of the road like it was leading me. It would not let me pass it. It just kept, for probably, I don't know. I don't know how far it was. I'm not good with that kind of stuff. But it kept walking in front of my vehicle. It would not let me go by. So it was like it was leading my way. It was showing me the path forward. Very important message there. So prior to that, as I was leaving where I was, there were 3 bunnies, a mom, a dad, and a baby bunny. So again, bunnies, new beginnings, fertility, growth, love, compassion. Then I get down the road maybe a mile or so, and there's a deer. Now, here, deer are everywhere. And, but this one, usually they'll see you and they dart across the road, right? This one, again, is walking along the road, despite the fact that my vehicle is driving on this road. It was like, again, following, like, here, let me take the lead for you. So I don't know. And I remember saying to Scorpios in the last read that I did, pay attention to animals. And I think I specifically said birds were a big thing. Scorpio myself, right? But it's not just for Scorpios. Pay attention to what is going on around you, what you're coming in contact with. Like, as I say this, I've got these crazy chills all throughout my body. You can see how messed up these are from the cat spilling water on them. I'm not happy about that at all. So anyhow, so there's that. And then, you know, so I'm driving, and a lot of times as I'm driving, Spirit starts coming through very clearly to me. And this morning was one of those moments where they just started like rambling. I don't know how else to explain it. It's like having a conversation with your best friend in the car, and you're just driving and you're just talking, and it just continues to flow and flow and flow. Something that Spirit brought up was trying to make amends. Guys, right now you could be having these experiences with people in your life that maybe are from the past, whether it was good or bad. Spirit is saying that things are being rectified by way of the situations that have happened. So it's like maybe somebody's finding themselves in the hot seat right now, and you're seeing these things unfold. Again, reiteration 2, I've said it before. This year is all about karmic cycles. What you put out, you get back. So you're going to start to see a lot of that balance, that Libra justice energy coming through, of things being balanced out one way or another, okay? And so I feel like, whether it's for you specifically, and pay attention to the dynamics between you and others, that what is coming back around. And I feel like we have been in Mercury retrograde since the last Mercury retrograde that we've had, and that was what, April, I think, April 1st to the 29th. I don't feel like we've ever left Mercury retrograde, simply because so much stuff is still coming up for review. That's that karmic stuff, right? So in order for those things to be balanced out, the stuff from the past, it's our past actions that are going to dictate where we fall in those karmic cycles, right? So there's a reason why it may feel like Mercury retrograde is forever and a day long this time around. That it just didn't end when April 29th and the post-shadow phase closed out. But, so there's that, okay? But they talked about, and I made notes. I was driving and making notes, making notes. If you're finding yourself in a point with other people, maybe even yourself, that things are coming to the surface. Maybe you're reconnecting, disconnecting, purging, cleansing, clearing, whatever. You cannot take the egoic part of self into these new beginnings. If you're really trying to change a situation, you have to let go of that old perception. You have to let go of the old ideas. You know, it's like going, I want to move forward. It's like, you know, this is an extreme example, right? But like, let's just say that you're with someone and your spouse cheats, okay? Maybe they did make a one-time mistake, right? It's never happened before. It's not their typical thing. Who the fuck knows what was going on in the moment? And you sit down and maybe you do some counseling or something, who knows? And with that, it's like, yes, we agree that we want to continue to work on this relationship. We want to continue to work on this marriage. But you can't do that if you're bringing resentment along. You might change a part of that behavior, which led you to the hot seat to begin with. But you can't take the baggage from the past or that old way of thinking from the past into the new, right? 11:11 on the clock there. You've got to really let it go to have a new clean slate. You have to be your best self moving forward. Spirit is also bringing to my attention as I say this. If you are trying to clear out a karmic cycle, right? You're trying to balance that karma, or it's lining up for that purpose. And you're taking that egoic self into this. You are bringing more karma upon yourself in the long run, right? You're bringing that positive or that negative in to this new experience. The Spirit is saying if you've had an opportunity to come clean about something, or maybe you're dealing with someone who you've given them an opportunity to come clean with you on something and they're not, that's the energy that they are carrying forward. Really something to think about in that, okay? Now, when I was talking about, what was I talking? You hear the cat, he's grounded. He's not allowed to go outside and lay on the balcony right now because of what he did. Yeah, it's a thing. Anyhow, I remember saying something about higher learning right now. The other thing they brought up is a lot of you could be going back to school, and I kind of had to chuckle in a way because I'm thinking, you know, schools have pretty much, for the most part, I think, let out for the summer, at least here in the U.S. I don't know about other places in the world. I'm not sure how that works. It's you know, where we are, it's summer, so it's like this pause, right? We're taking a break from all of those things. But a lot of you could be looking into going back to school. A lot of idea around this higher learning, acquiring knowledge, digging deeper within, right? And I'm going to tell you too, I think that sometimes the lines get blurred. We say, oh, going back to school, higher learning. We automatically assume that it has to do with like going to college or taking a certification or something like that. How about being certified at life? That was a big thing that Spirit brought in, is that the metaphorical aspects of what we talk about in tarot, what we talk about with this intuitive guidance that comes through us as conduits. That sometimes I don't think that it's defined enough to help you all understand. Our human mind goes straight into, oh, learning, going to school. Oh, learning, reading a book. You know, it's like doing something on a scholastic level that changes what we know. Life in itself is that experience. Life in itself is that higher learning. It's having these experiences to be your best self. It's having these experiences to change the way that you see things and view things. Some of you, Spirit talked about being researchers, starting to dive in and research. Now, whether this is for a job, if this is for personal growth, if this is just because you're experiencing a situation that you need to know more about. Some of them are saying, they're saying also some of you could be cooking. So simply learning maybe like what ingredients do, the flavors behind it. I don't know where the hell that just came from, but thank you, Spirit. But it's alchemizing. You think about a cook, a chef, right? They throw all these different ingredients in the pot, 1441 on the clock, to see how it tastes, how it turns out. Could it be better? Could it be worse? So you could be playing like magician right now alchemizing different things, trying to figure out what that missing ingredient is. Okay. Another thing they talked about too that I forgot to make note of, they're bringing it up again, job change for some of you. Between now and September, a lot of you could be experiencing a change in job. So this could be part of that higher learning, right? Going, what do I want to do next because I'm not feeling fulfilled? 15, hanging on to old ways of doing things. The obsession around this is the way I've always done it, so this is the way that it needs to be, because there's a difference between the 9 to 5 and living out my dreams because society says so. But between now and September, and I've seen that time frame come up very heavily in the personal readings that I've done as well, a lot of shifting in that. You know, and the one thing too, what I thought was a bit odd, because I usually don't get this kind of stuff, they talked about the debt. The debt when it comes to higher learning. Now, I'm going to tell you, again, we look at the metaphorical side of this. What did it cost you to learn? You know, our cost is our energy, our time, our mind, our peace, our investments financially. You know, some of you could be really looking at what it cost you to learn the things that you have either learned, are learning, or need to learn. Big deals, Matt. You know, we also, and I'm going to tell you, I heard a commercial the other day. I was listening to something, and it was for Joe Biden. We're not going to get into politics, but there it is. And about how they said in that commercial, you don't need to have a college education to be successful. Let's backspin. Now, we're going to talk Aquarius energy here, right? Backspin a hot second to the fact that 20 years ago, 30 years ago even, we were told the only way we would be something successful is if we went off to college, we spent $80,000 on a certification, a piece of paper, and that would be the only way forward, that we would be guaranteed success. And as I sit here and say these things to you all, I implore you to go, do you have a certification? Do you have a degree? I've got 2 of them, plus certifications. Do you even do what you went to school for? We're seeing that societal structure change, right? And I've talked to a lot of you, again, through the personal reads here lately, via Zoom or over the phone. And that's been a big thing. Job change. Not being content with where you are, wanting to live out dreams, knowing there's a bigger purpose to your life. It's something to really look at right now. Spirit is saying it's the elevation of success in which you've already started. What does that mean for you specifically? Because your definition of success is always going to be different. Right now, there's the societal norm of what success looks like, and I'll tell you a little bit here. Won't dig too deep into my personal thing here, but had to do some stuff last year, and I talked about having a successful business. All right. To the people that I had to deal with in regards to this, they seen success solely as financial means. That was it. What is your definition of success? Because to me, it wasn't just about money. It was about how it made me feel, what I was doing, what I was giving back. To me, that is success, because it's a building block. It's a foundational aspect of what it is that you do. That is successful to me. That is all things good and holy. You know, whatever you put your faith into, I don't mean to, it's not condescending. But to anybody's belief system. But they talked about that success, and I'm like, I am successful. At one point in my life, I was homeless. I am successful. It's been a long journey. So, again, look at what the definition of success in your life looks like to you. What do you define as your personal success? Is it waking up to the reality of this matrix that we live in? Is it just genuinely being happy? Is it being able to put groceries on your table when others can't afford to? I mean, what do you define as success? It's like, it's stepping into the newest version of yourself. And through that, this learning that we're doing is not just about certifications, degrees. It's life experience. I don't, you know, I've said this before, when you look at like counselors, therapists, right? And by God, I think everybody needs one, for different purposes. But how many people, and I've heard it so many times over the years where people have said to me, I've gone to a therapist, I've gone to a counselor, and I walk in there and I say, this is what's going on. And they go, well, how was your day? It's the same conversation that you could have with your cat. Same conversation you could have with yourself. But are they helping you dig deeper to understand what's leading you to even feel like you need to do this for yourself? And what I've come to find over, you know, my perspective here, right, is that it's really hard to relate to people that we don't, you know, we can hear their story, but we don't understand their story from their shoes. And most often, I'll say, we don't take the time to really put ourselves in a person's shoes. We hear them say something and we go, I'm so sorry that you endured that. I'm so sorry that this is what happened. Sometimes we don't even know what to say, right? Because we don't understand the experience. This higher learning is about the life experience. There is no degree. 2121, that's the world card. There is no degree. There is no government issued paper. There is no student loan debt that will ever attest to the amount of life experience. It is the school of hard knocks. It is living these things that are truly everyday lives. And this is addiction. This is homelessness. This is pain. This is sorrow. This is regret. This is happiness. This is joy. It is marriage. It is our children. It is our family unit. Again, I've said it before. I'll say it a million times more until the day that I'm out of here. It's like, how was I going to go with this? How was I going to put this? It eluded me as quickly as it came in. I know Spirit's side note is saying 20 times the amount that you need. So if you're feeling like you are in some kind of lack, you're not going to be. Whatever that means for you. The way these messages are coming in, it's always something different, right? I do feel like my guides, this pause that I was on for the last 2 weeks was necessary to recalibrate me to the next phase, if you will, to understand things differently. So anyhow, now that I've gone off on that whole tangent of the intuitive stuff that came through this morning, I'm going to grab some cards for the collective. I'm just going to kind of pull, I think, a few cards to see what else is going on, right, in the energy this week, for the week. I mean, timing is fluid, so when you find this is when you're supposed to hear it. But quickly, I will say again, for those of you, there was a few of you that have emailed me. There's a few of you that have texted me and things and said, you know, are you okay? Haven't seen you on YouTube in a while. Thank you. Thank you. You know, you guys let me know that, I mean, something as simple as that, you know, what I do here is useful and helpful. Here comes the tower. Is useful and is helpful. That we connect as a community. This is a safe space for everybody. That means a lot to me. So thank you for checking in on me. I appreciate you guys. You're amazing. Thank you for your love, concern, passion, your compassion. And yeah, I just needed a little bit of time, just like everybody else. Okay, the Tower, 6 of Pentacles underneath. Succumbing to your fears, Spirit is saying. I do feel like I'm going to get a plethora of messages, and they're all going to be outside of our norm here. So I know this video is going to run a little while. I ain't been on in 2 weeks. It's necessary. Structures are burning. Structures are crumbling, right? With that Tower, we've got Scorpio, Aries energy here. 6 of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn as well. Pentacles. Some of you could feel like there is a shift in your finances happening as we speak. You know, maybe making some poor decisions, maybe feeling emotional, like trying to, like, what do they call that? Retail therapy. You know, but it's the investment, right? Here's the thing too, perception. We talk about that all the time. When it comes to this tower that's coming in, there are 3 things that are being rejected from your lives. 3 things. They are being tossed out the window on their ass. Now, this could all be tied to a specific situation, but you've got a minimum of 2 people plus the situation, if not 3 people plus the situation, where some, again, spirit, heavy on the energy, mind-blowing information in regards to money is coming in. So this can be a positive. I'm going to tell you, for some of you, this is a positive thing that you've been waiting. So the 4 of Swords and the 8 of Pentacles behind it. This is something you've been waiting on. Something that had been, I just said about that Judgment card, right? They said 20 times what you've given, or whatever, however I worded that, I forget already. It's going to be given back to you. And there comes that 6 of Pentacles. This is the return on investments that you've made for most of you, Spirit is saying. They're saying 59th percentile. I don't know what that's about. But shit is coming to an end. This tower for you guys, these shifts that are happening may feel consequential to alleviate difficulties that have remained in the past. So I'm going to tell you, regardless of your sign, if you have dealt with money issues for the last 5 to 6 years, they're pointing out, it's going to be rectified. There is no other way. That balance, that karmic energy is coming back through. If you have been struggling, it is coming through. Now, I'm going to say this to you because I've seen this in the comments too in the past. I'm homeless. I don't have food. I don't have these things. Okay. I'm not blaming you by any means. Everybody's circumstances are different. If you are experiencing those things, please know that my heart, my thoughts, and my prayers, uplifting prayers, are with you, right? I am, allowing this reading to bless every soul that has faced or is facing those challenges. It's a miserable place to be. However, you have got to shift the idea of how awful it is and go, if you're sleeping in a tent, at least you've got that tent. Versus nothing. If you have a car and you can sleep in it, at least you have that. There is forever and always something to be grateful for. And if you can find it in you to look at the things that you do have and go, wow, I am blessed. Because there are people, if homelessness is a thing for you, unfortunately, that don't have those things, right? Even if you have 1 extra pair of shoes that somebody else doesn't have, you're better off. What if you just do things, no matter what, out of the kindness of your heart? You're leaps and bounds above other people who just carry around hate and resentment. There is always something to be grateful for. And once you embrace that energy full-heartedly, you will see your life shift in miraculous ways. That is that vibrational energy that we speak of. Allow that shift to occur for you. This tower, they're putting emphasis on Aries right now. Look, you may have Aries placements you could be dealing with in Aries. Again, chills down my arms, my legs. The clouds are dissipating, right? You think about, like, when you see fire or fireworks, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. You could have felt like you had disruptions around your life, or could be feeling this now. The smoke is dissipating. It's got to clear out. There's a clearer vision once everything crumbles. I was going to say 9/11. If you think about 9/11, 29/11 just was on that clock. 9/11 has been a significant number for myself the past couple of years, almost going on 3 years now. And it was right around the anniversary of 9/11 that it started. 3 years, going on 3 years ago. But you think about 9/11, it took days, weeks, months from all of that tragedy, the evil, to clear. The smoke, the physical smoke over the New York City line. It took such a long time. to clean up that debris. If you have experienced something over the last 5 or 6 years that has just lingered and lingered and lingered, it's going to take a while for it to end. It's not just going to go away, because there's information that's coming through that is going to highlight why the hell all of this happened to begin with. It's massive. It is life transformation. It is life changing. Spirit is saying it's taking back your power and control. It's bringing things full circle. There is divine timing. And that's something else that I talked about. And it came through this morning too. In a lot of the readings that I've done, and I have done oodles and toodles of readings in the past month, that the divine timing, we sit in this human form and we want things done now, right? You know, technology has taught us instant gratification. The world, society has taught us instant gratification. But to be in that space of patience and allowing all of these things around us, as I explained it to somebody the other day, you think about like, maybe you want this particular job, right? Well, that job role is already filled. So maybe for this person who's already in that seat, all of these things need to be orchestrated and played out to have them make that move to leave, so that that space is created for you. Things have to leave in order to create space for something else, right? So while you're going through the humdrum of life and doing the day in, day out, all of these things via the universe, spirit, God, whatever you put your faith into, are being moved and shifted around you. You're going to start seeing things kind of like fall apart around you for the purpose of alignment later on. There's a great, great need to live in faith and trust right now. If you've never had to dig into the reserves of that faith, now is the time. Big, big energy coming through. Because I do think, and the other thing I was hearing was the choices. How do we move on and move forward from everything that has happened? It's the dust is settling, right? That tower energy, everything that's falling to the ground, it's coming to an end. There's probably a couple people around you too that are hitting rock bottom. They're starting to get a taste of what they dished out is coming back around. You're realizing the healing work that you've done on yourself. For some of you, it could be a Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, heavy on that Libra energy with the balance of karmic structure as well. But if there's been a divide between you and another person too, in relation to the closeness of a relationship, it is being healed and repaired. Place these energies where they fit in your life, Spirit is saying. Like, really address that, okay? Let's clarify this tower. This week, big news, big information coming out. I think if you've gotten information recently around something, collective, it was the tip of the iceberg. You may, for the next up to 3 weeks or so, start to see this information coming in, playing out. For some of you, up to 6 weeks. It's going to depend on a few placements, they're saying. And I'm going to be straight with you. Other than the fact that we just had the Gemini new moon, I couldn't tell you what the hell's going on in the astrology right now. I think there's a lot of stuff that moved into Gemini. Taurus that's got something going on, but I'm not too versed on that at this moment. All right, Spirit, what is this tower? Ace of Cups, Page of Swords. I'm talking about that communication, right? In regards to love, let's go there for a hot second. If you have been dealing with something, this could be a confession of love. This tower moment is like somebody could have been waiting to say something to you in regards to how they feel about a connection, how they feel about you. This is a heart opening. This could almost feel earth-shattering to you. Maybe you've dealt with somebody who's been closed off for a long time, and all of a sudden they just start to open up this communication and just go, this is how I feel, this is what I want, this is how I think, this is what I want to acknowledge, I need to feel this, so I'm going to talk about it. That in itself could shake your world upside down. Whether this is to come together or if this is somebody coming clean, Spirit is saying. So, you know, if maybe your marriage has been on the rocks, your relationships have been on the rocks, or even around your work, right? There's pentacles around your work, your foundations, your stability. All of a sudden, somebody's either being forced by this tower to give back, or they're realizing that they've sat on these feelings for far too long and now it's time to let it out. This could be something that they've held back from you. I think that for the most part, there is energy coming in that is loving. It seems to be sincere. 3/4 of you, I think it's honest communication. For the other quarter of you, you need to be discerning of why, I'm going to say not how, but why they're coming in with this information and communication to you at this time. Are they lacking? Or are they breadcrumbing you? So you really, really want to discern that information, right? Because there's a collective message for all sides. Every person that watches this, you're going to want to discern that very carefully. What is this tower about, Spirit? The Empress. Somebody is done bossed up. I'm going to tell you, if you're sitting in that divine feminine energy, I talked about being in that space of lack, and I talked about that Justice card, and there it is. Perspective, talked about that. There's the Hangman. Big energy. Gemini season, the Lovers here. 7 of Wands, boundaries. Defending yourself, fighting for what's right. It's, you know, I said it the one day in the one video, Beastie Boys, fight for your right to party. This isn't a fucking party. This is getting the shit together, getting things on track. Anything that was in limbo with that judgment, right? This is that higher learning. That is that higher knowledge. That is a higher, deeper spiritual understanding of the decisions that you have to make and where that leads you to go in the future. The Empress is never in lack. Somebody here, Spirit is saying with that 5 of Pentacles versus that Empress, you see the power in her hand. You see her. She is magic. She is beautiful. She is abundant. I talked about those animals this morning, that peacock, the bunnies, the deer, fertility, growth. She is all of that and more. 5 of Pentacles. Somebody could have lost a child in the past at some point. It could have rocked some stability there. There's a lot of shit coming to the surface, guys. You can't even make it up. The pyramids here are catching my eye. In the one deck that I have, the Kim Cran's Wild Unknown, not the Wild Unknown Tarot, I'm sorry, the animal deck that she's got. I think Steve's Love Tarot calls it the little animal deck. I think I've heard him refer to it as that, maybe. Or no, maybe it wasn't that. It was somebody else. I don't know. Anyhow, these pyramids, the pyramid facing down, if I remember correctly, is water energy. Those facing up is earth energy. So you've got these pentacles, more earth energy there, right? Blue, heavy on the blue energy, throat chakra energy. There's blue highlighted in this tower card, and we've got some reds. That's our passion, our desires, our creativity. I've also said to you guys before, the way I read, red to me is always a significance of anger. It's shit boiling up. It's red. You know, think about somebody when they get mad, their blood pressure rises, their face gets red. You doing well, this Empress energy, you stepping into your power, you absorbing the losses and making peace with that, balancing that energy is probably infuriating a few people around you. There are people here who wanted to see you in loss and lack. And I said to you, I think it was a Scorpio reading, about like spiritual attacks. Like, I don't get into that black magic shit too much because I don't go there. I know better, right? Like you do not enforce and take away someone's free will and right to choose. This here screams at me that they're seeing you as this Empress energy. The 10 and 2, it's balance, you know, driving, both hands on the wheel. You've got that driving force and power behind you with this tower. Somebody in loss and lack, that 5 of Pentacles, and I see them running. Seeing them running for cover. It's almost like, you know, like I can't think of a movie specifically, but they're giving me the movie feeling again. But as we know, I'm not a big movie watcher. I'm not a TV watcher. Where all of a sudden, like, that person or that spirit or whatever, you know, that they depict in the movies, the tides get turned on them, right? The tides get turned. Then all of a sudden, they're running scared. Trying to salvage what is left of a situation. And it's like, you don't even have to move. Spirit is saying, if you're dealing with somebody who's been corrupt, if you're dealing with somebody who's been evil, and I've talked even about the evil, like the good versus evil thing, like that really became a thing the last read that I did. Like, it's a thing. It's a heavy thing right now. And it's like that justice, she's dropping her cards to the table. Show your hand. It's like somebody's being forced to show their hand here. This is a big, big construct of like, I've sat in my power as the Empress. Don't fuck with me. She doesn't have to do anything. So if you are kind of like, and I talked about that egoic side, right, as we make these new choices, if you're sitting in that egoic side of things, this here is reminding you that it's not necessary. So it's like when we sit in that ego, we want to take action. We want to go do. We want to take control of a situation. The best control is to let go. Let go of a mindset and even the memories. Spirit is saying the nostalgia, the memories that come in with how maybe something or a person or a situation made you feel. Because it's being rectified via spirit. The balance is occurring. You know, I think that the interesting thing in this, and this is what's catching my attention with this card, one side of these scales has a feather. It's light as a feather, right? When you're at peace, you've got that protection of the feather. You've got a light feeling about you. Nothing seems heavy. You're at peace with it. There's these gemstones and crystals on this other side. And now granted, they're beautiful, right? Sparkly, shiny, instant gratification. Ooh, what's new to me? But they're heavy. What gets lifted? That feather. If somebody you were dealing with felt that the only thing that mattered was the tangible, the heavy things that we can feel, touch, and physically see, they put all their eggs in one basket with that. Your peace, what lives within, is reigning supreme in a situation. Just let it go. Surrender and let it go. Because here's the thing. You don't need, it's like when I say, you know, like them showing their hand, but this is also you showing them that you don't give a shit. I've got nothing to hide, right? I've done nothing to put me in a peculiar spot that I have to feel the need to protect and hide something. It's a very, a very powerful energy to be in right now. More on this Tower, please, Spirit, this week. Six of Wands, riding off into the sunset, victory and success. Collective, when we look at this card in any deck, I think for the most part that you look in that depicts people on the Six of Wands, he's riding off. He's moving forward. This guy here on a mechanical horse, nonetheless. I forget what the name of this deck is. I haven't used it in a while. It's one that's been unharmed. Some of these people are super excited for this person. Other people sitting in the background are like, what the hell? There's jealousy. Spirit even used the word frenemy. I don't like that word. It's weird to me. But frenemies. These are people that could have pretended to really look up to you and go, oh, wow, that's so amazing. And then once you really take off and move forward, all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're leaving us behind. Again, collective, stay humble in any successful endeavors that you are accomplishing. And I don't feel like you're necessarily not being humble in some regard, but there are still people around you that are like, what the hell is going on here? And you may not even yet realize, like talking about, you know, showing our hand, that this person could have been, you know, taking energy from you, looking for those handouts. Spirit is also bringing up the fact that I talked about, that higher learning. Maybe part of this higher learning is you learning about the people in your life right now. Why are they there? Has somebody been breadcrumbed with that 5 and 6 of Pentacles? Has it been reciprocal? Because if not, and you have been on the short end of the stick, collective, it is coming back around. Balance 120% is being restored. Very, very important energy. Two of Pentacles, you know, I think the beautiful thing about that, I talk about that karmic stuff there. You see the infinity symbol with her on this bicycle. One wheel being bigger than the other. And I'm going to tell you too, Spirit is saying if you have felt like your wheel has been very shrunken, maybe your life didn't feel as harmonious as you would like for it to have been, if I could talk. There's a pressure shift. I feel that. And with that Justice card, I reshuffled into the deck, but I talked about those scales, right? One seems much lighter, one seems much heavier. The equitable weight distribution in this. We talk about juggling typically with the Two of Pentacles and the traditional Rider-Waite. This, I just keep getting this vision of this wheel shrinking down. That's going to take the brunt of everything because it's the one that stuck itself out the furthest. I don't know. I always say interesting, right? It's always intriguing. All right, what is this Six of Wands in the Tower? The Hierophant. Rules, structures, Knight of Wands. I have said it a million times before. I will say it a million times again. I think that there is one deck that I don't see the Knight of Wands as this biggest slime ball to ever live. I don't know what it is. It's just how I feel about that card. This Knight of Wands, they've got the ability to take that action, but they're waiting. They're lying in wait. Be mindful if you are in situations, and I'm going to lay it like this, religious, political, societal, economical, which we all are, right? Lying in wait, see what, you know, what happens next. As I say that, there's the Hermit and then the World card that I talked about. 5, 6, and 7 of Pentacles. So 5, 6, 7 could be a very important number right now. That's also a 20, which is that Judgment card. We're circling back around to Judgment. Pardon me, they're out doing lawn work. Knight of Wands. She's laying in wait. She's sitting back. She's waiting to take action. Do not be surprised if something does not go somebody's way that they take action on something here. They're waiting for the right time. But what I think is interesting, as much as I am a lover of this Hermit, and the way I just happen to lay these cards down as I look at those, the Knight of Wands is sitting back and realizing that based upon a particular journey in the dark, if they were living in dark energy, it's coming to an end. Somebody is trying to escape something here. Some type of consequence, some type of, what do I want to call it? I don't know. They're like, there's another word for consequence. Judgment itself, right? They're laying in wait, but they're also realizing, come hell or high water, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, Leo, the Hermit, Virgo energy, this is coming to an end. It has no choice. This cycle is coming to a massive close. This Tower with that Judgment in the World, big, big energies at play. If you're finding that any part of this reading has resonated for you, that specific area of your life, you're going to see it go down. It is going down. It is time that these situations be rectified. And Spirit is saying, what better time than now? The second half of this year is not meant for you to play with this shit anymore. This is the clear up. This is the point from June to November, they're saying specifically, and then showing me parts of December, that this is where the dust clears. The smoke and mirrors, the illusions around things, if you have felt deceived, are coming to a massive close. There's a lot of small deceptions at minimum. They may even just feel small to you, and then as things start to unravel and unfold, you realize what a bigger scheme of bullshit was going on behind the scenes. This is like massive Judgment Day, collective. And this isn't just walking into a room and somebody saying something. It's going to take time to play out. Be the observer. Be in this Empress energy that says, I have gone from nothing to everything that I need to be. 5, that change. The time is now. I don't know why this message specifically has come out today. But it's for good reason. I have no doubt about that, because I've sat and I wanted to get back on here and do these readings for you guys. And I typically will do just the signs more so than a collective message anymore. But it was meant to be for all of you. One way or another, these are resonating. All right, let's see. I want to get one more card. We're going to wrap this up. We're 15 minutes in. Or we're going to get 2 more cards per spirit. I said to you, watch the actions of why people are around you. Do you see this card? A merry motive. What is the motive? Is it for good or is it for bad? What kind of taste does it leave in your mouth when you walk away? Close encounter. You could have had, so, I'm getting with this Tower, I'm getting not so much what I necessarily call a negative energy, but an alarming, awakening, right? Spiritual awakening kind of energy. Or these epiphanies that come in. This close encounter, some of you could have almost lost your lives. Some of you could have almost lost your children. Some of you could have almost lost the main parts of who you are because of a situation with another person. To lose yourself in another person. But yet there's something around the beauty of that butterfly that cages it in. We could see the cage as holding us back. But that holding you back was divine protection, even if necessary, to save you somehow. Maybe, they're even saying, they're showing me female energy here, right? In general, females in general, or however you identify, that for some of you, you could have started dating, right? You could have started, talking to other people or going out or, trying to enjoy different things. And in that, maybe every time you try to go out on this second date with somebody, something stupid happened and you got held up and there was pause, right? Like me trying to get to this yesterday and then the cat spilling water on my cards. That pause had to happen because something else needed to play out so that you could see that, shit, I really just dodged a bullet. You find out some piece of information, whether it's online or whatever, that says, bad deal, like, abandon ship, jump ship, get out while the getting's good. There's a reason that it got held up. There's a reason you got rerouted. There's a reason that you feel like you might be caged in right now. Talk about that 2 of Pentacles. We have another 2 come out. Roots of abundance. Plant your roots elsewhere. 7 of Pentacles. Invest elsewhere. And it's like, for some of you, I'm hearing, 9 of Wands, 10 of Wands. I'm hearing, I don't want to start over again. Why? I'm gonna tell you this too, because it made me just think about this. The last 2 weeks, I wanted to really sit down and get back in touch with you guys because I love doing this. But it felt so hard because I'm like, oh, when do I have time? I've got this going on. I've got all these things. And again, down the road, you guys will know exactly what has happened. Things are wrapping up too, I think. So, as these things are playing out, I'm like, I really just want to sit down and do these readings. But God, it feels like, when do I have time? Am I in the right spiritual space to deliver the best messages that Spirit brings to me? It felt hard to me. Was I in the right space? You may be picking up investments that you've already made and completing them despite how difficult it may feel. Embrace that for yourself. Be that warrior. Go forward. A merry motive. Look at this. First off, 10 and 20, master numbers, power numbers. What is behind that? Exposed and revealed. The motives of other people are being exposed. The behaviors of why people have done what they've done is being exposed. There's a necessary truth in regards to the evil that has surrounded. And when I say evil, you know, it doesn't have to be something super duper malicious. It could just be that somebody was being selfish in your life. And all of a sudden, maybe this little piece of information comes in and you're like, ah, now I know why they said what they said. Now I know why they reacted the way that they did. This could have been on your mind up to 6 months ago. Some of you, this is a pattern from the last 10 years. The last 2 years. Some of you 2 months in this short-term dating phase. Very, very important, because now you know where you want to plant your roots. Now you know where you want to invest into your abundance. Now you know who is worth sharing that abundance with. And I'm going to tell you, we've had a lot of exposure already when it comes to people in our lives over the past couple of years. Expect a little bit more. 55 on the clock. 10-10, endings, beginnings. Big energy here, collective, that's happening. And this video is damn near an hour long. I'm leaving it there. Pay attention. I'm going to cross my fingers with the mercy of the universe to get you the rest of your June readings. I know Saggies is done. I've got to work on the others. Scorpio, if you're watching, I know you guys are waiting. I know. I'm getting to you. Bear with me. Divine timing at the right time. I'm going to get to you guys. I hope this message was informative. I hope this message helped. I hope it clears up anything that you've had going on. Personal reads are open and available. I am back on track here. I got a couple to do today, and then I think I'm all caught up again. So shoot me an email. The information is in the description box below. One of the questions I do get a lot is whether or not these are pre-recorded. I'm going to be honest. I don't like pre-recorded messages. It's just not my thing. It's not how I operate. It's not my thing. So, email me. I'll give you the other options. We'll go from there. I'm going to, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not going to speak too much yet. But yeah, so shoot me an email if you're interested in personal readings, and we'll get you booked. I should have quite a bit of time this week to get to some of those. So I'm looking forward to hearing from all of you. I am doing fine and well. Thank you so much for checking in on me. I love every single one of you. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you again soon.